20th episode. Cautionary Tales from the Red Chair. Brought to you by Jake.
And Sam.
20th, sir. Can we believe we made it to a nice round number like 20?
Still got the same sponsors, too.
Yep, same viewership.
Must be doing something good.
Yep, no banner.
Yep, exactly.
Bringing it back.
I didn't think you were gonna. I didn't even remember it, so.
You're like, what? What are you talking about, fucking banner?
Well, what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
So I got a weird thing that I want to just say right off the bat.
Good, because I was floundering.
Yeah, a little bit. You know me, is I always like when something fucked up, like, washes up in the ocean and always comes out to be, oh, look, it's a fucking mermaid, you know, that kind of
like
stuff.
Like the Montauk Monster?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that stuff, too.
Today, there was a fish carcass that washed up, where was that? Southern California coast. It was an 18-foot long serpent-like fish where it had no, fins.
Weird.
Like normal fish.
So it's just like a giant anaconda?
Pretty much.
From
Big silver
sea.
one. They call it an oarfish.
Okay. So it's not an unidentified species.
It's pretty much an unidentified. They said that it was kind of more of a myth than anything else, and look at this thing.
Holy cow.
It's fucking crazy looking, isn't it?
Yeah, holy shit. The thing's like a giant tapeworm.
Yeah.
That is insane.
And they really have no idea what the hell it really is.
Yeah. Oh, that isn't ugly. For you people out there, you need to look that up. Google friggin' giant oarfish. And you got to get this USA Today video. It is an ugly, prehistoric looking creature.
Yeah, it really is. And they're saying that they believe that this fish lives like 3,000 plus feet down. And that's why nobody really knows a damn thing about them.
Yeah, and so those are those mythical sea snakes that the sailors would talk about in the day.
Could be, and that's what I'm saying. How do we even know that this was like an adult one? How do we even know that this one was full grown? Maybe it got attacked by something and that's why it died.
Yeah, maybe it's a runt.
I just think it's hilarious when they...
18 foot, you said?
Yeah, that's what this one was, and you just saw it. The tail was actually tore off of it.
I was going to say, that looked like they cut the tail off.
So it could have been another, 5-6 feet at the end. Who knows?
Yeah, just getting really, really tiny and tapered. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true.
I'm just saying that I think it's hilarious when shit like this starts washing up on shores and people look at it and they just... Well, I don't know. It might have just been a mutant one. Fuck that, man. This is where real sea creatures are. Yeah. This is where the shit on the map was, where they had the fish jumping in and out like it had a bunch of different humps. Could you think of something like that was 60 feet long? Yeah, it would scare the shit out of anybody that was sailing.
Yeah, and you think they'd just be more prevalent back then because there was nobody sailing.
Yeah.
And as more and more, as the generations went on and more sea traffic happened, of course and then sea traffic also got condensed into almost like these freeways that you use for shipping lanes. So all those crazy species just got to be like, okay, just stay out of this little area, and we won't get hit by boats, and nobody's going to see them.
You're also talking about back in the day when there was no commercial fishing like there is today.
Yeah, that is true. And how many fishermen caught something all weird, and they didn't care. Time is money, kid. I ain't calling National Geographic to get this thing checked out. Get it out of my boat, and let's keep fishing for the shit that's going to make us some cash.
And back in the day, though, if they caught something like that in their nets, they were just going, sweet, I usually get like $1 for a fish. What am I going to get this for this fucking thing?
Nothing. Because nobody's going to know what it is.
Yeah, everybody's going to be like, oh my God, you angered the gods.
Yep. The Japanese might eat it, and the Chinese are going to make some cock powder out of it for virility. But other than that...
I don't want the animal itself, but did it have a penis? I would like to dry that.
Yep, and then grind it up and sell it in a tea.
Any bile in its stomach I could have. Oh. They got some weird shit, man.
Exactly.
But it's just another one of those things where when that kind of stuff happens, I actually do. I get a little excited. The kid in me comes out where you just start thinking, what is out there?
Oh, I don't... The freaking megalodon is out there. According to National Discovery Channel.
There's a lot of ocean for whatever the hell wants to hide.
Well, because, what was it? It wasn't until 5-6 years ago that they finally had actual footage of a giant squid.
Yeah.
Before that, it was just speculation, washed up one here or there. It wasn't until some Japanese actually went out there and tried to film one.
Or even in our lifetime, do you remember that huge thing where they found that first megamouth shark?
Yeah.
I mean, that was even in our lifetime where something just washed up and it wasn't dead right at first. It was pretty much just dying. And they were like, holy shit, what the hell is this? And they, once again, thought it was just a mutated something or other, till they studied it a little bit more and somebody saw another one. And then they were like, oh shit, it's the megamouth shark. That's what we're coining it now.
Yeah, because it's got a huge mouth. Kind of like, hey, this is a bass, but it's got a really big mouth for a bass. Largemouth bass.
Yep.
Are we just going to call the other one a bass then? No, smallmouth bass.
Yep.
It has been decided.
Where's the appropriate mouth bass?
Exactly.
Yeah, I just think it's good because, like I said, it just brings out the little kid in me because I will be the first to admit it that I don't really believe in all the shit like Bigfoot and stuff like that. I mean,
You're not a cryptozoologist buff?
people are, they've been living on land long enough that somebody would have had some kind of proof instead of just a story.
Do have proof.
Oh, bullshit. They even just brought out those new pictures and they still
Yeah.
look fake as fuck. It looks exactly like that goddamn Animal Planet mermaids show.
But why can't you just extrapolate the same logic used for sea creatures into the vast wilderness that is America, still America?
Because of the fact, like
The
I said,
Cascades
that,
are a freaking wilderness.
okay, well, maybe I'll redo what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is I don't believe that in North America there is necessarily a population of Bigfootai. Is that the proper term?
Big feet.
Yes. But, yeah, I just don't think there's enough untouched wilderness. And even when you're talking about a place like Alaska, I mean, you would eventually run in. There's almost 1 million people in Alaska. And there's hunters that go out all over the damn place. And when only one a decade comes back with a story...
Oh, more than that. It's just the only one credible one.
Yes. Because the other one's some weird fucker that says it every single year. Saw him again! You know, and you're like, well, why the hell do you keep seeing him especially? Like there was one show where they were talking to a chick that lived in the Appalachian Mountains that kept saying, oh, well, I've known there's Bigfoot since I was a kid. They used to come and play with me when I was... And I was like, are you kidding me? Why would you even pick somebody like this to interview?
Because it's so credible.
Yeah, exactly. Because they've been my friends for years and years and years, but nobody else can see them but me.
Exactly, imaginary friends.
Yeah. So that's what I think most of the sightings are.
Yeah, I was chilling with a chupacabra most of my early to late 20s. Not sure if it was
he had
the
a thorn
acid.
in his paw, and I took it out, see? So he likes me now.
We got a thing. I just can't say his name 3 times in the dark, and we are copacetic.
If I do, he told me he's got to rip my face up. It's just business.
That's them's the rules. He doesn't write them.
Yep,
He was just put here
gotta
to
live by him.
He was just sent here by an entity from a different vibrational frequency in an alternate universe to make sure we knew our place as humans, as the low men on the totem pole.
Yeah, I just don't think there's enough land that's not explored enough, or that people don't, there's just not enough room on land anymore, especially for a lot of the places where they say the sightings are. I mean, Alaska was kind of one of those places where it could be kind of credible, but still, I don't believe even there's enough room for them never to be documented.
But they are documented.
But nobody ever find a carcass. Nobody ever find a bone.
They're like elephants. They have a specific graveyard that they go to.
And you're telling me that we've been in this country for how long and nobody's come across one of these burial sites?
Okay, scratch that. What they do is they repurpose their dead.
We made a nice foot rug out of Dad. And a bookshelf out of his femur.
But actually, one of my coworkers was telling me he heard out of one of those Finding Bigfoots that the new theory is that beavers might actually eat Bigfoot bones.
Fuck that.
He was 100% kidding, but the best part was he said he was up in Duluth like a few months ago, and he was actually going on a nature hike with, one of the instructors or guides that took him. She's like some college kid right out of, like the environmental studies course and shit like that. And so he actually, they was talking about, so what about Bigfoot? And then he was talking about, he's like, and then he proposed that theory to her, and she's like, that's interesting. I'm going to have to email my professor and see if that's actually true.
Wow, and I bet there's a professor someplace that just went, oh my God.
The education system has failed.
Yeah. You should never tell your parents how much they actually spent. Just let them make the minimum payment.
Minimum payment. But what about those foot casts that they had from like the 50s and shit?
I can make a mold too.
But these ones are so, you'd have to be like almost an expert in biology and like the way like animals are made up to make such an elaborate hoax. And then the one convincing story that I really liked about the whole Bigfoot theory is where they found that one footprint, and then 50 years later they found a footprint that was basically the exact same. So it was the same animal, but it had like different, like a cut there where like he broke his foot and all this, and it was just so like the detail to it was just can't be faked, man.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
If you want to play a prank on somebody bad enough, you could do it.
But that's a long ass prank. That's a long con.
Yes, it is.
That is the long con.
That's one friend going, God damn it, he died before I said, gotcha.
Exactly. But when it comes to all that, the cryptozoology, I'm like Fox Mulder. I just want to believe.
Yeah. It really interests me about the ocean, though, because I really think that's hilarious that we know more about our moon than we know about our oceans.
Well, there's nothing to know about the moon. I mean, there's like, it's fucking thing with rocks on it.
Yeah, but I'm saying we know what the rocks are made out of. We know approximately how long they've been in space now. We know a lot about the moon just from one trip to it. We've lived on this planet our entire fucking existence. And how much do we know about the oceans?
It's harder to get to than it is the moon.
No, we just didn't have the Ruskies trying to do it,
yeah.
so...
And you do need greater technology to get that deep with human exploration.
With human exploration, yes.
Yeah. And it's just too vast. It's going to take millennia to figure it out.
And that's why I'm saying the stuff with the ocean really fucking intrigues me, because of the fact that I look at it as all these old shipping tales like you were just talking about. They didn't have the mass commercial fishing that they do now.
Yeah.
So there was a hell of a lot more in the oceans back then. Any of these big predators could have actually easily been fed back then. So maybe some of this shit, especially when they start finding stuff like this washing up on shore, maybe some of this shit is actually, or was, true.
Yeah.
And we never even saw them as they were dying off because all we did was take the fish.
Huh.
So they never even saw the corpses or anything of that because when they would die, they would just get eaten by something else.
You know what the quickest way to solve this whole question of what's in the ocean? Let's start a Kickstarter.
Drain it?
Yes, get enough money to drain the ocean, figure out what the fuck's going on.
Put a pump into outer space?
Yeah, fuck it, man. Maybe we can create a new water planet or something. What would it do? Just freeze up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just return it afterwards.
Exactly. Just you get a giant space station that harvests the water.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can just drain the ocean, count all the fish. Hopefully keep them alive long enough to save some of them.
And then just have somebody up there with an ice pick keep picking it off and throwing it back at the atmosphere.
Exactly.
It just rain it back down.
That has to be one of the most ignorant theories I've ever proposed in my entire life.
I'm going to do it now. 20 years from now, you're going to see it. Just because people will be that stupid by then where I'll actually be able to talk them into it. The only way we're ever going to know how many tuna we have is draining the ocean, damn it.
You'd be like, haha, take that, Oppenheimer. It wasn't your bomb that destroyed the world. It was me and my crazy Kickstarter idea to drain the ocean.
It's what plants crave.
Earth is done. Fill it with Gatorade.
Yep, exactly. It's got electrolytes.
This episode brought to you by Gatorade.
Oh, yeah, that would be a grand one right there.
Well, I got a great story that's kind of on the same vein of the paranormal and cryptozoology type vein.
We're trying to keep it light this week.
We are. After
with all the stupid government shutdown bullshit, it's just like, yeah, enough of that.
Yeah, exactly. So I was reading this article. I guess a woman in eastern China, looking to take a shortcut on her way home, became trapped in a wall.
What?
Yeah, she stayed there for 7 hours. And the only reason she was rescued was because the residents thought she was a ghost. So that's why it took forever, I should say, for her to get rescued. It's because everybody that lived in those houses thought she was a ghost, so nobody called the cops. Like, hey, this lady is trapped in a wall. They're like, this ghost is saying, help! Help! Or whatever help is in Chinese.
I think by that time you yell whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey!
And I guess what the lady was trying to take, obviously, like I said, a shortcut home, and as the passageway snaked on, it became increasingly tight. Having gone too far to turn around, the woman from China's Anhui province became entrenched in brick in the concrete wall. Screams, however, proved of little help, as building residents naturally assumed she was a ghost.
Well, of course.
Ultimately, a passerby realized her screams did not, in fact, emanate from the grave, called for help. Isn't that awesome? God. You just like, what are you more disgusted at? That somebody's that stupid to get trapped in a wall? Or that
both?
Or people are just like, well, Aunt Martha's at it again.
I'm going to put it to you this way. The first question I would love to pose on this is, let's say you're walking down a hallway, and it starts out, a normal-sized hallway. And after a couple hundred feet, you look at it and you go, huh, the hallway seems to be narrowing. And you continue to go to the point where it's like shoulder length away. And you look down the hallway and you can literally tell yourself what? Well, it looks kind of narrow right there, but beyond that narrowness, it widens out. What would possess you to continue going until you literally could not move?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on in this chick's mind?
And at a certain point...
Maybe that's why they kill the girls babies in China.
And at a certain point... When does a shortcut become way too difficult to stop being a shortcut?
Yeah.
Because, you might be able to cut through things, but if you got to work twice as hard, I'd just rather walk around all the bullshit.
You want to go through the shortcut? Nah, man, I hate fighting that ninja. He always kicks me in the balls.
And I never see him coming.
Exactly.
He's there every day.
Way too much smoke.
Every day he's there.
Yeah, I seriously, I can't get over that. How the fuck did she get stuck like that? And then, okay, I already almost skipped over the second question. The second question that I was going to pose on this one is, I'm just spitballing here. But if you heard something like help coming from a wall, would you really just go, God, another fucking ghost?
Well, if I heard that, somebody going, help, help, in my apartment, I probably would ignore it just because I don't want to get involved in this. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be
I am not going to be the guy that has to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
No, I can't get over that you would first of all walk that far into a goddamn narrowing passageway. And the second one is, if you heard some noise like that, when they said obviously it was a ghost.
Well, naturally you would just assume it's a ghost. Well, I guess the Chinese are very superstitious people,
apparently. Maybe that's why they have to drive slow.
But how annoying would that be? That would be your natural inclination. Does that happen often where, Grandma Mildred keeps screaming for help every night, and you're just like, oh my God, I thought when she died we'd get some fucking peace and quiet. But she just never shuts up, even in the afterlife. She's just sitting there wailing.
I lit an incense stick for you. What else you want?
I read the Tibetan Book of the Dead to help you with your your passing through.
Oh. To me, it's hilarious to think that one of the world powers could still have that kind of a superstitious faction. And I just honestly say that
the
because
Bible Belt in America.
But that's what I was just about to say. I can just say that because at least Christianity, when it's extremist, still doesn't believe in the ghost aspect as much. I mean, you still got the stupid people that think that we were riding dinosaurs at one point. But, you know, well, I can't even say that because now they've got all these fucking ghost shows on. And
yeah, well, and I was going to say, I remember growing up and I'd have to do this, whatever, were they called stations? Wasn't it the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit?
Yes. Tentacle, testicle, wallet, and watch.
Spectacles, not
spectacle. Yeah, spectacle.
Tentacle.
I'm thinking about the fish again.
Tentacle, testicle.
Spectacle, yes.
Oh my god. So, do you have any fucked up Floridian news for this week?
I did not.
Well, I did. I actually had one left over from last week that we never got to because we were too busy bitching.
I was.
Well, we both were. It was quite entertaining. All right. So, where does this take place? Daytona Beach.
Ooh.
You know it's good.
I've been there.
You know it's good.
It is a weird place.
Yeah, so the headline is Cat and Mouse Game lands accused prostitute in trap.
Ooh.
So the article goes, it appears an accused hooker's cat and mouse game with a cop landed her a date with the judge. An undercover Daytona Beach cop who was working in an area known for street prostitution called out to a woman, quote, "Hey baby doll, you working?" According to the police. Once the woman who was identified as Christina Marie Ferrara, 21, entered the unmarked police car, she immediately asked the John if he was a cop. She then demanded he touch her breasts to prove that he was not a law enforcement officer, according to the arrest record.
Well, he can do that without paying.
When the undercover officer told her that there were people nearby and he was reluctant to touch her, Ferreira asked to exit the car, police reported. Too late. Since Ferreira allegedly asked the cop to touch her boobs on a public roadway in view of people, she committed another crime, offering or agreeing to a lewd or indecent act. Dun dun!
Wow.
Well, at least she got off on prostitution.
To me, that's absolutely hilarious, though. That just proves that they will fucking get you for absolutely anything.
Oh, yeah.
Anything that they can. And it hasn't... They even fucking ride you all the way into it.
Yeah.
It's just...
What do you mean, like when they're driving behind you, trying to get you to get you on something to pull you over with? Or?
Well, no, just if they want to pull you over, they'll fucking pull you over for anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I got pulled over for the one time that they said that I didn't use my blinker enough.
I didn't blink the minimum of 10 times.
Yeah, and that was the thing is I was changing lanes, put the blinker, smogged.
Yeah.
And when I went over, I got pulled over, and they wanted, or that when he goes, "Do you know I pulled you over?" I was like, I wasn't speeding, so I have no idea. Well, you're supposed to use your blinker a minimum of 3 times if you go from one lane to the next. Apparently, I put it in twice because I was already in the other lane, so why would I continue to have the blinker on? But apparently, that's what he said, was the minimum is 3 times.
That's awesome.
When I asked him I asked him where that was in our... in our laws.
Cite the statute, please?
What statute is this? Where is that? Because when I went to driver's ed, they had nothing like that.
Yeah.
And he actually told me, well, you can't write offhand. Well, I'm going to give you a warning on that. After he asked me to search the vehicle.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
What a douche.
So, I mean, it comes down to it. If they want to pull you over, they're going to pull you over. And if they can't catch you for what they're pulling you over for, they're going to find something to get you. Because then they're going to sit you on the side of the fucking road until you get pissed off as hell.
And do something stupid.
Yeah, and then he ended up telling me that he was going to cite me for swearing at a cop. I was just like, are you kidding me? You've kept me here for half an hour. You searched my vehicle all because you said that I illegally changed lanes when you can't even tell me what the fucking statute is?
Yeah. Wow.
And he didn't even give me a written warning. He just said he was going to give me a warning and then told me to leave.
Because he didn't want a paper trail of that.
Yeah.
Because his superiors would be like, what?
Exactly. Because I would have actually
blinker.
I would have gone to a lawyer and just been like, I got a warning on this because this cop is talking absolute bullshit. I want to sue him for my fucking time.
Yeah, exactly.
And his ignorance.
Time is money, kid.
They literally will. They'll pull you over for absolutely anything, and once they do, they will do anything they can to get you on anything. Anything, doesn't matter as long as they get you. Got quotas to meet, son.
That is the truth.
Fucking pathetic. How much this country actually determines the worth of a person by how many days they've spent in a jail cell. Literally, because once you've been in prison, there's already that stigma.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you say, I was in prison, not jail. Jail really doesn't have that stigma because a lot of people get thrown in jail.
Nowadays, you do commit 3 felonies every day without knowing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So anybody can get snared up in that shit.
Yeah. And the more fucking laws they make, the more times you're going to have to get snared up into it, the more things you're going to do that you don't even fucking consider something that you do illegal. I mean, shit. There's laws on the books that people won't fucking touch. Like in St. Cloud, Minnesota, where we live, it's actually illegal to have sex any other way than missionary.
Damn it, I'm a lawbreaker.
That's actually on the fucking books.
Skate.
You can't spit on the sidewalks is on the books.
You can't sell hamburgers on Sunday.
Yep.
As well.
That was still there. I mean, those are still actual laws. If they really wanted to write you up on them, they could.
Yeah.
Because it's an actual fucking law. Nobody actually cleans up the laws once they're done with them.
No.
So regardless of what happens, they're still on there and they still can be cited.
Yeah, just like that bullshit homebrew, the laws they have. They're pretty much laws still from Prohibition that regulate what you can do with homebrew.
Exactly. I can brew a bunch of it. I just can't take it over to my friend's place because transporting it in any way, shape, or form is illegal.
And anybody that drinks it outside of your immediate family is also, in violation of the law.
Yep. Can't share it with anybody. But then again, it does come down to the simple fact that we are a sue-happy fucking nation, too. Because if you give, or like if, say, I'd give you a beer, you'd get sick off of the beer that I brewed, you'd have a right to sue me.
Because you're not licensed.
Exactly.
How dare you be distributing?
It's just one of those things
Could that go the same way with if you cook me dinner and I get salmonella?
Probably.
I bet you could. Well, yeah, if I'm robbing your house and I fall through your skylight, I could sue you.
Mm-hmm.
That's been proven.
Yeah.
Sadly enough.
So, I mean, shit doesn't matter anymore. It's to the point where you can almost not trust anybody. Yeah, I was friends with him for 10 years, and then the fucker sued me after he slipped down my stairs. He fell down my stairs. Not that my carpet was loose, not that my stairs did anything. He fell down my fucking stairs, and I'm supposed to pay for his stupid ass because of it.
Yeah, because he was drinking.
And people will actually do that kind of shit. They'll be friends with somebody for years and then be like, well, you kind of owe me. Why? You fell down my fucking stairs. Well, yeah, but if you didn't invite me over, I would have been at my house. Yeah, and you would have fell down your stairs, you jackass.
Well, no, because you had beers over here and you kept giving me beer.
Exactly. It's just, it comes down to the point where it's hilarious to think of what all is on the books and that nobody will do anything about it.
Yeah.
But no politician ever wants to be known as the politician that took laws off the books.
That is true.
They never want to be known as that politician that abolishes a law because then their opponents can use that to their advantage. You know, they won't even say what laws were abolished. At next election, they'll be like, Jake Jelinski voted to get rid of 12 laws that this state needs.
Like, you cannot play the trumpet in an elevator.
No, they won't say what laws it is. They'll just be like, he voted to get rid of them. You know, like, they'll make it sound as evil as possible so that everybody just is synonymous with, oh, Jake Jelinski, he's fucking anarchist, man. He's just taking all the laws off the book. The next thing I know, there's going to be bands of raiding people coming through my neighborhood, raping my wife.
And eating my children.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things
It's going to be like the movie The Road.
It's political disaster to actually try to take a law off the books. So we have so many fucking useless laws that could still be used against us.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what they're there for. That is what they're there for, to enslave us, sir.
Exactly. I completely understand the conspiracy theorists on that kind of stuff because that's not a conspiracy theory. That's a fucking truth.
Yeah.
If people actually looked up how many laws they have in their county, their fucking state, or are on federal books, it would be absolutely insane, just mind-blowing at how many fucking laws there are.
Well, you could just look at one major piece of legislation, the Patriot Act, and then realize you are...
Everything's illegal.
You're a terrorist.
Yeah.
Everybody in America is a terrorist. That's why the NSA is watching you. It's not because they're spying on the citizens. They're doing their job. They're monitoring the terrorists. And what our government thinks of us is terrorists. We are the threat that
you're
we pose
extreme
the
left
biggest
or
threat.
extreme right, or you're terrorists.
We pose the biggest threat to the establishment
Yeah.
is the American people, because we're an occupied country.
Well, it's like the ant farm where the queen is always thinking, when's going to be the day?
Yeah, that is true.
So it's just one of those things. Yeah, you're big, fat, bloated. You can't do a goddamn thing on your own. So you need all of us, yet you resent us at the same time. Like, bring me my sandwich, you fucking assholes. Well, why don't you get it? Because I just don't want to.
But you're a piece, because you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But I need you. That's like, how does that make any sense whatsoever?
It really doesn't.
But it's almost like the scorpion and the frog.
Yeah.
It really is. We both need each other. But capitalists are always going to sting you.
It is. It
Because
really
it's
is.
in their nature.
I'm a fucking scorpion. What was I supposed to do?
Exactly. Goddamn leopard. Can't change my spots.
It's just one of those things where it makes you wonder why the hell something like that was ever set up in the first place. Because you got to be thinking, well, it's kind of like this whole thing of, did you hear, I got to get my statistic, or my, not statistic, but where I'm going with this one. So USA Today put down a story here, and I'll just read a bit of the headline here. A majority of Supreme Court justices appeared to agree Tuesday that states can ban affirmative action policies. And they indicated that they're more likely to uphold a Michigan voter initiative after a decade-long dispute. Where literally the basis of the whole story is that it might actually be might be taken off the books that affirmative action is the law anymore.
So now affirmative action's racist?
Basically what they're saying in here is it's no longer relevant.
Oh. Well, yeah, I suppose it's more discriminatory towards white people then, essentially, right?
Well, you've got the votes on both sides of it. You still got a lot of people that say that without affirmative action, a lot of people wouldn't get the job, because of the color of their skin. And then you got the people on the other side that are saying, well, yeah, but now you're taking jobs away from qualified people because of the color of their skin.
Yeah.
And you can understand both of them. Neither one of the sides can understand each other because they're both yelling so loud that they can't understand. Yes, a white person might lose his job because they need somebody for affirmative action. Mm-hmm. But then again, you also have to understand that the majority of race in this country that are unemployed versus the majority of race that are employed.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it goes hand in hand and back and forth. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. Both of them can be said. Yeah, and it just depends on a different side of the coin that you're on.
And I kind of agree to it because there has been a cultural shift. As there's not so much, at least in corporate America, they don't give a shit about black or white.
Green.
So who's going to do it for cheaper?
Fucking Kermit Frog. I mean, God damn it.
I'll take the Mexican if he'll do it for 5 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if he's qualified or not. That seems to be the way it is. So if it's up against a black or white candidate, nowadays I don't think the white guy's going to get it just because of a systemic racism that's in our country anymore, like it used to be, why we needed the law.
Yeah.
Right now it basically goes down to who do I have to pay less. And if you're going to go...
Who do I have to pay less and who's going to suck my dick better?
Yeah, so maybe the white guy will get it because we're more pacified than most other races. We're kind of domesticated more into being slaves and serfs, I think. Because at least, with other races, it almost would seem like, they'd be like, fuck you, buddy.
Well, I'm just going to say this right now, though, that I think it kind of comes back to the whole point of, for the last, let's just say, 1,000 years, it seems like the Caucasian race has been really okay with fucking over any single... It doesn't matter what color you are.
Yeah,
you could even be white. And they'll
100%.
still fuck you over just because they can. I mean, I'm not going to say that any other race didn't do this, but I'm going to say it almost seems like that's a little bit more territorial aspect of Caucasian is we will fuck each other over, we'll fuck anybody over if it gets us ahead. That's just the way that we've been doing it for thousands of years.
And I think white people are more accepting of getting fucked over because it's happening by somebody that looks just like them. As opposed to every other race, you can just be like the white man.
Yep.
And right now, basically, all we can say is don't trust old white guys in suits.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. One of the things is the scariest uniform that any soldier can wear is a suit.
Exactly.
Because if you're in a fucking suit and you still have an army behind you, you can ruin the world.
Exactly.
It's been proven.
We're watching it right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's to me, I don't think the affirmative action is as relevant as it was. Don't get me to say that it never happens. You'll never hear me say that because there's always going to be a racist asshole that's going to be like, I don't like the blacks.
Yeah.
You know, so he's going to give the job to a white guy if he can. So, I mean, it's always going to be the give and take there, but like you just said, the majority of anybody that's in Wall Street, that's on fucking any kind of business in New York or anything like that, they don't give a fuck what color you are. Are you kidding me? It's not relevant there. Now, down south, it might be relevant in some of the places down there. And it might be another one of those things that just drives another wedge in between the citizens of those areas. And I do find it a little weird that if you do go to a larger city, and the majority of the larger cities like Chicago, New York, you know, that kind of stuff that are up north, either that or they're in the real liberal states like you're talking about Los Angeles and that kind of shit. If you go down to some of the places that don't quite have the big cities, but have a population, the backwater towns, let's just say that, there still is that huge portion of just blatant slap in your face racism. And in those areas it could still affect.
Yeah, that is true. It's kind of like getting rid of the kind of that, what is it, the equal voting rights laws that they just got rid of too.
Yep.
Where basically, so they're just trying to make the playing field easy and level for everybody because we're all pretty much shit now to the establishment. There's no gaining or getting ahead for anybody outside the inner circle.
Well,
so they're just basically saying, fuck all of you.
It's just like when they rezoned.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to rezone where these guys are in ours, and then if we skip 4 blocks over here, that's going to be in ours, but that 4-block radius right here, that's going to be in the other zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Why? Well, that other zone is, well, naturally, people that don't vote and Democrat.
It's a little darker over there, let's just say.
Yeah, I find it hilarious that actually happened. And before anybody says anything about that's a shot at the Republicans, yes, it is a fucking shot at the Republicans because Democrats did not want to rezone the shit. When the Republicans took control is when they started going, let's draw new lines.
Yeah, I wonder who that gerrymander was. Was he a Republican or a Democrat? Well, back then, it wouldn't have... They're fucking reversed anyway.
Oh, yeah.
From back in the day when they actually gave it that name. Gerrymandering.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to think that the Republican Party came as far as Lincoln. Are you kidding me? Lincoln was a Republican?
Yeah, exactly.
If you look at how they're fucking acting right now versus how Lincoln was.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, about the only thing that they still got right, though, is they are not afraid to get into a war.
Yeah, that is true. Or create a division inside the United States.
Yeah, that's about the only thing that Lincoln still has to do with the Republicans in the House today.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't use him when they reminisce on presidents past. They kind of skip that one over when... Wasn't Lincoln Republican? No. I'm kind of... I'm title only.
Oh, they love Lincoln. Even though Barack Obama loves Lincoln.
Well, he should. With the Emancipation Proclamation, that's kind of a big thing. Lincoln's one of those presidents that could do that up in heaven, being like, I'm kind of a big thing.
Okay, yeah.
Or you're not thinking about that?
I wasn't thinking about that at all. Because I'm like, nobody in his family tree were slaves, so it really didn't affect him, but it affected him as much as the aspect that
he can go down south.
Yeah, exactly. That
doesn't
he can
have to be afraid of being kidnapped to be a slave.
Yeah, that he can actually run for president. Oh my god.
I just liked your face when I said that because I knew you were not thinking about that at all.
Not at all. It's just like, what?
That's great.
That is great. Oh my god, did you hear about the Romanian man that choked to death on a sausage?
What?
Yeah, I just saw it on Huffington Post.
So apparently they don't know anything about the Heimlich over there?
No. I bet not.
Like, he's choking, what do we do? Hit him in the face!
Yeah. So yeah, it says a Romanian man was reportedly caught on video choking to death at a sausage eating competition.
Thanks for putting the camera down, asshole.
Yeah, the 60-year-old man, whose name was not released, was participating in an eating contest at the 6th Plaskoi Sausage Festival. Well, that's weird.
Sadly, his last words were, "Watch this slide down my throat."
That's great. Oh, and then it says here, medics say he could have been saved if someone had performed the Heimlich maneuver when he was choking.
Jesus.
So what is that? Is that not another kind of dead giveaway that we've become a zombified world?
In a related story, his long lost cousin walked into a wall today.
While texting.
Jesus Christ. Started yelling for help, but god damn it, everybody thought she was a ghost. Fucking idiots.
Oh my god. So, a hot dog eating contest, he chokes to death. That is great.
That's what you get. That's one of the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, well, that's kind of interesting. It's the Familia Plaskoi competition. And the contest is named after Familia, a fairy tale character known for always being hungry. And last year, a Florida man choked to death after devouring dozens of live cockroaches at a roach eating event in What?
Wow. How was that not on your crazy Florida news?
No doubt. Bonus fucked up Floridian story.
I was actually going to say, I wonder if Joey Chestnut's going to wear like a fucking band on his arm or something.
Yeah. The black band. I got to check this out. Okay. I'm going to have to check this link. All right. We got Miami. A Florida man choked to death after downing dozens of live roaches to win a contest earlier this year in which the grand prize was a python. According to...
Is that code for something?
I don't know.
Because I've used that before.
Oh my god! What a random prize! You can eat cockroaches when it can't have been like a sanctioned.
That's actually how I got my wife.
Yeah.
You want to win a python?
And then you pull down your pants.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, that was a mealworm."
Well, she was already drunk, so
things look bigger to her when she's drunk.
Exactly.
Edward Archbold, 32, of West Palm Beach, died as a result of, quote, asphyxia due to choking and aspiration of gastric contents, according to the report released by the Broward County Medical Examiner's Office.
That's a fucking really fancy way of saying he couldn't swallow.
Yeah. It said his airway was obstructed by the roach body parts, which caused him not to be able to breathe. Oh my god! That is just disgusting.
So he ate so many of them, the legs were like hanging on as he was swallowing.
Yeah, so he just choked on just ground up. Oh, God, that's fucking gross. Hey, drugs were not involved. Drugs were not involved, surprisingly enough.
Well, of course not. This is a guy that would never get laid in his life. Why would he be using drugs?
Damn. That is fucking disgusting.
Seriously, what? What is up with people?
Yeah, this is an actual contest at a pet store. It's Ben Siegel Reptile Store in Deerfield Beach, about 40 miles north of Miami. About 30 people ate the insects, but authorities said none of the other contestants became ill. What? That is
So,
gross.
do you think the dude that was like next to him was like, "Where's my python?" Like he was gonna win.
Where's my python?
This might be bad timing and all, but I'm about to leave.
Yeah, I gotta head out of town real quick. Oh my god, that's so disgusting. All right, I think we should move on to some hypothetical questions, huh? Because I want to get over that. Hypothetical question 1: would you eat 30 cockroaches for a python?
Only if I could do it really fast.
With nothing to wash them down.
Yeah.
Oh, that is nasty.
I wouldn't eat one cockroach. Not like live crawling around type
Yeah.
deal. Like, nah. I've eaten insects before, but they've been dead.
Yeah.
And sterilized.
Have they been barbecued? How did you eat them?
Well, I have had them on a skewer before.
Ew, why?
Because that's how they made them.
But why would... Where
Because they
were
were
you?
grilled.
Where were you?
That was at the food expo.
Ew, where... Oh.
That was when I worked out at the creek.
Work out.
And we went down to the food expo down in the cities.
What else did they let you eat?
Oh, there was a lot of shit there.
Like exotic food?
Yeah.
Like,
That's where I had emu.
Did they expect you to carry bugs?
Carry bugs?
Well,
Like at the restaurant?
Yeah.
No,
To,
they
like,
were
serve.
selling them. So it was reps that were saying, you can have these, you know.
If you want to carry
Yeah.
it. Ugh. There's not much of a market for insects.
Not around here, no. Nobody would have that kind of a... Like, very few people, I would say, would actually do it. Very few would actually buy them.
Yeah, pay for them.
So, like, if you gave them for free, somebody might actually eat one.
But
But if you were like $6.95, they'd be like, for a fucking cockroach?
yeah, we can't even get them to keep good Chinese restaurants around here.
That's what I'm
let alone
saying.
cockroach restaurants. Well, maybe that was the problem. They were cockroach restaurants. And that's why they got get dirty. All right, real hypothetical question. If you were really a robot, would you want to know?
Yeah, because I'd start doing some awesome things.
Knowing that you couldn't die?
Yes.
But then that would ruin the whole purpose of you not knowing you're an android. And then the Blade...
How do you know there's a purpose to this?
Because that's the Blade Runner will find you. And he will give you those specific tests that test your apathy. Or empathy, sorry.
Well, shit, I'm dead anyway.
So then, if you did get the Blade Runner test, they'd probably think you were a cyborg.
Pretty much. You know I don't have any apathy or empathy. I can give a shit less about everybody, basically.
You have tons of apathy. No empathy. All right, let's find another one. Who would win in a fight between MacGyver and Chuck Norris?
Yeah, it's got to be Chuck Norris.
Would you rather be bald or have a huge mullet for the rest of your life?
I'm going to go with bald.
Why not? Why wouldn't you want to have a huge mullet?
Because I'm not giving you anything more than that.
Okay.
Just because.
Speed round. What object would you want to be reincarnated as? Not animal, but object.
Object?
Yes.
Oh. That's kind of a bad one.
Why? Speed round. What object would you want to be reincarnated as? Go.
Object.
Yep.
Just don't see the need for that.
For being an object?
Yeah.
I don't see a need for that.
It's nothing I've ever thought about because it's just one of those things of what the fuck would you be?
Well, now think of it. What would you be? What kind of object would you be? You have to choose something. Anything.
I'd be a soup ladle.
Weird. Because you love soup that much?
Well, that's one of the objects that I can think of that people don't do weird shit with. Like, you never hear anybody say something like, yeah, I fucked her with a soup ladle. You know, like, you'd have a very small percentage of chance of doing something extremely nasty with somebody extremely nasty.
Dude, I love having my balls ladled.
Okay, not your soup ladle.
Just put a little, like, tepid water in there. Just boop, boop, boop.
See, you thought I was going a different way. I do love soup, but that's just one of those things where it's got a very specific purpose.
All right. Would you rather be a crouching tiger or a hidden dragon?
Definitely a hidden dragon.
If you were a guy, would you rather wake... If you were a guy... Okay, you're a guy. I haven't read any of these before. All right. You're a guy. You would rather wake up with a female face with the same gender or wake up as a female with the same face?
Oh, female with the same face. I'm beautiful. I would get so much fucking action.
Would you rather be a member of the darkness or work at a pub?
What the fuck does that mean?
The Darkness?
Yeah,
It's a band. It's a rock band. Remember that band that's like, do you believe in a thing called love?
I don't know.
Oh, great tune. Great tune.
Not,
All
the
right,
way that you, not your rendition, at least.
Oh, what are you talking about? I got a voice like a fucking angel, son.
Yeah, I don't.
But would you rather be a member? I'll just make it to something. Would you rather be a member of Tenacious D or work at a pub?
Be a member of the band.
Remember the band?
Might as well. Get some pussy out of it.
Would you rather have to say everything that comes to your mind or never say anything? You've already
really,
chosen.
Are you gonna fucking
That was a dumb one. That was a dumb one for you.
Back to the fish.
This isn't even hypothetical. You're like,
Are you just reading my fucking blog or what?
Yeah, exactly. If Jurassic Park were real, would you visit it?
Fucking right, I would.
If your life was like Seinfeld, what character would you be?
Guest star.
Because you're your own person or what?
Because I hate that show.
Oh my god.
I would not fucking say I'm any of those guys. I'm not a neurotic little Jewish man. I'm not a tall, skinny, half-funny Jewish man. I'm not a guy that almost bumps into a door every time. Jewish man.
And a racist one at that.
Exactly. And I'm not a Jewish woman, so I'm pretty much going to say nothing about Seinfeld.
Last one. Would you be willing to murder an innocent person if it would somehow end all hunger in the world?
Fucking right.
Why is that?
Greater good.
Break a few omelets.
That's what I'm saying.
Or break a few omelets to make some eggs.
No, break a few omelets to feed everyone in the world.
Oh my god.
See, that's what would happen if I killed that dude is you would break an egg and it would be instantly an omelet.
Ooh. Hey, I like that.
People would be like, oh shit, look at this. I got a fucking omelet. That's awesome.
Nice. Way to
I'd
save
be like, yeah, well, that's because I killed dude. Give me a fucking omelet.
Thanks for saving me fucking up that whole phrase.
That's what friends do.
Exactly. Oh, well, I think we should just have a fucking beer. What, huh, kid?
Maybe that's the reason that we're a little jittery.
Yeah, I know. Sobriety on the podcast isn't working too well for us, I don't think.
All right, so there's a happy median.
Yep, we got to just start drinking when we're setting up the recording.
Not 3 hours prior.
Yep.
Let's still do the 4 hours post, though.
Yep. The Wild game should be going into its second period right now.
Yeah, it should.
Against Toronto, the Maple Leafs. So, yeah. Well, I guess until next week, this is Jake Jelinski.
Sam Reckney.
Come the revolution.
That's right.